Hello everybody and welcome back for the final episode of Soma, this time for real. So I figured out, I'm pretty sure what the problem was, and it's a silly one. And we're all gonna have a laugh, because all I had to do was not put this battery here yet. I didn't realize that once I took the battery out, I could actually take it back out again. I thought that it was a one-time sealed situation, get the generators running again, and chances are, this will probably help. No, this will at the very least get us the ability to maybe manipulate something that'll let me in. Oh, this has a freaking battery spot on it. Okay, so gotta use the same battery in a bunch of different places. Okay, I understand now. Sorry. I'm gonna be honest. It's been a long day of playing Soma, actually. This was my 5th episode today. And I'm not complaining. I actually was playing it, well, partially because I really wanted to finish it so we could talk about it on the Roundtable podcast and I'd have the final, episode's worth of documentation done. Also just because I was really interested in the story and I want to see what happens. And it's really good to have momentum is another thing, so... yeah, but maybe I'm getting a little bit burned out on how many things...
We got the arc back.
Good job,
Okay,
Simon.
there we go.
Take it to the assembly space and load the bullet.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit burned out on some obvious things. I probably should have noticed that that port was there. This should not take very much longer, though. We're going to grab this sucker. This was not even a puzzle, really. I made it a puzzle by me not being observant, which is just silly and embarrassing. But we're going to take this back to the other side of the hallway, where it belongs. I don't have to worry about any more ladders. There's going to be no more climbing. I hope. We're just going to... Well, it's climbing these, like, 4 stairs. And then we're going to pop that in there, nestled like a sweet baby in its first morning, waking up fresh in the cradle. And then we're going to shoot it into space in this phallic object. Okay, next step. We will take this battery back. We will bring it here. I don't think there's... Are there other steps involved in this? I don't think so, right? Right, it serves no purpose being in here. The other door, I don't think was openable by any way, right? This is just sort of fried because of this sucker here, so if there's a way into that one, I'm not sure. I'm gonna find out what that might be. Now, will this auto shut again when I take this back out? No, just turns the lights off. This is actually a lock and key mechanism, and there's nothing else to see around here. Alright, I guess with that, we shall take the final march and bring our sweet, sweet battery home where it belongs. Oh man, this could have taken 3 freaking seconds if I knew what I was doing. Alright, there we go. Battery's back, baby. That should power up this console. Payload is now detected. Yellow button. Oh, you know what? We will have to climb back up again. We've got to go up into the launching area. But that's okay. One more climb of the ladder isn't going to kill me.
I'm really not that familiar with guns of any size. Oh, here we go. All systems say go.
Lock and load.
Combat up and we'll head out to the gun.
Lock and load, little lizard. I don't even remember what that's from. Is that from Independence Day? I get... Oh, it's probably from Gex, because lizard, right? I don't know. I get catchphrases in my mind sometimes, and then I forget. Do I need the battery? I'm just gonna leave that there. If I need the battery, I guess I'll have to come back for it again. Alright, one more climb. The thing I didn't like about this ladder was that I couldn't look down past my shoulder height. I wanted to see how high I was. Whatever. Making a fuss about a ladder is not a big deal. And...
Now
what?
we just need to get the shell into the gun and then... Kaboom.
Aren't you forgetting something? How are you gonna get us on board the ark? Don't we need to make another scan?
Oh, don't you worry. You don't operate something like the Omega space gun with your bare hands.
You mean... it's a pilot seat? Like back at Omicron?
Yes, and we can use it to transfer you to the ark while operating the gun. 2 birds and all that. Now, take the Omnitool and plug it in next to the seat and I'll guide you through the final steps.
$5 says we're not getting on the ark. Nothing's been that smooth. Every single step of everything we've done and every process on the freaking path from the first place to here has involved me having to make sacrifices and compromises. And I can't believe that this would be any differently. But let's see, maybe I'll be surprised. Goodbye, world. You weren't that great anyway. Once more into the ocean. Here it comes. Man, I really did not expect that we would spend probably, like, literally half of the game submerged underwater. I don't know why, it just didn't seem like a likely thing to have happen in this, but... yeah, underwater sci-fi games is not the first, it probably won't be the last. Alright, filling airlock, pressure differential is evening. Then the out will now open. Oh, I'm getting my Omni tool back, ready to swipe. Oh, look at that, you can see through it for some reason right there. See that? See the seams around the screen? You can just see right through it. This is a new technology I've not seen yet. What is left for us? The space gun is left for us, boys and girls. We're gonna go fire something into space. Or are we? Or are we? Remember, the whole point of this project was just hope. Not anything actually useful. Okay, this is clearly the pilot seat. I'm gonna take a quick look over here before we get invested in that. I'm sure you wouldn't want it any other way. I want to see what... okay, there's like a railroad track. Oh, that's where the payload probably went. And somehow we're gonna guide that into a tube, which is probably... well, I guess it's that point right there. I was looking for the gap. And that would be probably this. Okay, I guess that's everything we need to see. This looks like a Binding of Isaac crying set of eyes or something. Mega Maw off in the distance over there. And, what is that giant mass on the wall? I love the parallel, too, that, like, underwater and space are so similar. This is, you know, there's something very poetic about that, actually. They've had a few moments of, some nice poetic drama. Really, what is that on the wall over there? I really can't get a good look at it. Some kind of array, I guess? I don't know, maybe we'll interact with it in a second. We'll be able to see. Oh, look, there's more of those crying Isaac faces all over all the walls. Sorry, now you're not going to be able to unsee that. So we put the tool on this. Okay. I saw there was, like, a thing on the chair. I thought maybe.
Oh, I'll never get used to that.
Really?
Guess you won't have to. Not after this is over.
Right. Have a seat.
Here we go. Wish me luck. Pretty cool looking space gun, though.
As good as it's gonna get.
Does it matter I'm a robot?
You should be able to use the machines to load the bullet you assembled.
Oh, yeah.
How do you operate this thing?
Don't know, I never tried this one. But pilot seats are notoriously easy to use, so it shouldn't be a problem.
I'm a suit in a suit operating another suit. Oh my god. Okay. Yep. That's the thing. Take this. Oh, we're gonna play crane game. Yes, we have grabbed. Did you lock? Yes, you locked. Now we're gonna target there. Man, they weren't kidding. This is like really easy to use. Seems too easy to use. Freaking fall asleep using the thing.
There we go.
Done. All of 3 seconds.
Okay, ready when you are. Just hit the button and we're off.
But we need to transfer our minds to the Ark.
We also need to make sure it launches at all, so I tied them to a single switch. Just push the button and we're off.
We're not going in there. You know it. We both know it. You ready? 3, 2, 1, blast off.
What are you waiting for?
I just pressed the button. Come down.
No turning back.
Thank you, Simon.
You're welcome.
It's an amazing thing you did. And I want you to know I appreciate it.
The sacrifice I just made. Oh.
Time.
She gets to go in first, right?
What's the matter with the upload?
Just give it a second.
Thought you guys would have better bandwidth.
This plan was not very well thought out, was it?
10 seconds. 9,
Killed by a download bar.
8,
Or
7,
upload in this case, I guess.
6,
You gotta be kidding me!
Goodbye, half of my consciousness.
4, 3,
Come on, load!
2,
Yes! Fuck yeah, we made it!
1.
now we sit in silence for the rest of eternity.
I'm still here.
Trajectory.
I'm still here. Catherine?
No, she's gone, man. She's gone.
I'm here.
Oh,
What the hell happened? What went wrong?
just copied.
Nothing. They're out there, among the stars. We're here.
No. We were getting on the Ark. I saw it. It finished loading just before it launched.
Yeah, I saw.
Then why are we still here?
Oh my god, dude.
Simon, I can't keep telling you how
You're
it
so
works.
dense.
Now listen, you know why we're here. You were copied onto the Ark. You just didn't carry over. You lost the coin toss. We both did. Just like Simon at Omicron, just like the man who died in Toronto 100 years ago.
No. This is bullshit. We came all this way. We launched the Ark.
I know it sucks, but our copies are up there. Catherine and Simon are both safe on the Ark. Be happy for them.
Are you crazy? We're gonna die down here with those fuckers living at large on a spaceship. They're not us. They're not us.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Simon. I'm proud of what we did. We made sure that something of the hundreds of thousands of years of human history survives, that something lives on.
No. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck you, Catherine. You lied. And I believed in you. I trusted you. You said we're getting on the fucking Ark.
We are on the Ark, you idiot! I didn't lie. I can't be responsible for your goddamn ignorance. You
Fuck!
I would actually say I lost that bet. We did get on the
Please don't
Ark.
leave me alone. Catherine?
Yeah. Good job. You alienated the last
Catherine?
person that'll talk to you. Oh, that's the ending. It was actually so much more straightforward than I thought it was going to be for the ending. I'm actually kind of disappointed we didn't get to see the inside of the Ark at least. Whether or not, you know, we got on it officially, according to this guy's narrative, is kind of neither here nor there. That's silly that he was in such a level of denial that he got the same exact setup for the same consequences multiple times and never saw through it. But then again, like she said before, if she didn't deceive him, he wouldn't have done it. I don't know what he thinks would have been different this time. I mean, really, we're the ones on the coin toss. It's not him. He never changed consciousnesses. We're the only ones that did that. You know, we jumped from the guy in the scan to the guy in the facility to the other guy in the other suit, and then at the last chance we didn't jump, whereas every other time we did. So, it's just us that's moving the narrative along. He's been a different dude every time. You know, all things considered, it was a bit slow. There were moments where I was maybe a little bit frustrated that it kind of felt a little bit like we were going in loops. And I guess maybe in a sort of meta sense, there is something, kind of a parallel to the loops that we were doing in the gameplay versus the loops that were happening in the story. You know, there was a lot of, you know, we go in a facility, we explore for a while, we find out a very tiny amount of information, and then we kind of loop back around again and go out into the ocean. We solve a little lock and key puzzle for a second, get into a new facility, different spooky thing happens. You know, same kind of thing over and over and over again. So if there was maybe a little bit more diversity in those experiences, I think I probably would have had a bit of a better time in the gameplay, structurally. But I still enjoyed the writing enough, and I absolutely wanted to see this through to the end, and I enjoyed the fact that, you know, it did explore some issues and some topics that you rarely ever see in horror games or in games in general, honestly. And I still had a good time with it. I mean, I know I was a bit negative at times, but I'm glad that I played through this, and I hope you guys had fun watching it through with me. There's a lot of questions that I still have, and it is going to be a really fun game to discuss with people that have also played through it. Many of those questions, I think, will be also really interesting to ask of people that have made slightly different decisions than I have. Wonder if there's anything post-credits here that we're going to get to see. Anything? It's a little bit more blackness. I've got more than enough blackness to go around. Oh. We are going to get to see the Ark. Oh, yay! That's exciting. We'll just give it a second to load in. Whenever I load up a save in this game, it always takes a moment before the textures are all the way fully in. Sort of like what happened in Mass Effect a lot of the time. So you'll see I now have legs and arms again, because there's no need for me to be an avatar. Can I stand up? Not sure if my
Whoa.
knees would be a bit weak.
Is this... Did it work?
I mean, it did, yeah. It's like we're at the beginning of Dark Souls a little bit. Dark Souls 2, I should say. Pretty. Okay, I'm so happy that they got this moment and put it in. I wasn't expecting this. I did really think that that was going to be the end of the story there. But they chose to give us a little bit of mercy, or maybe a little bit of fan service. I'm not sure which direction to take that thought in, but we do get to see the Ark. With its river, not its lake. With its water physics, which I'm gonna guess are not actually water physics, unless I can pick up this rock. Look, I'm doing human things, playing in a stream. Is there a secret cave behind the waterfall? No. I didn't load that into RAM, unfortunately. If only I had clicked the load cave button. Plot twist, this is actually a secret tie-in with Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. They didn't go to the Rapture, they went to the Ark. And they got shot into space. Secondary plot twist, I'm the only person here. That would be sad. I don't think that'll be the case, though. What is this? Welcome! Oh, it's the thing I read, the survey from earlier. The calibration survey. Why are these answers already in red? Oh, this is just the default. Yeah, okay. I feel invigorated. Now they want us to know if, because of the dissonance from where we were to where we are now, do I feel different from last time I answered the question. Because the joke is, we were fake both times. You know, quotes fake, because I'm not discussing the nature of consciousness right now. Although I have several times throughout the course of this. I really think that is what they're going for here. They wanted us to remember what we answered last time, and then because of the joy of being in the Ark, how that affects our mind state. Because the implication here is you want to sort of reward yourself and say, I feel normal. I kind of just want to answer this with all normals, just because I don't want to dwell on this as well. I mean, you know, what's the last thing you want to do? You just wake up in this new glorious world. Oh, let's do some paperwork now, essentially. It's pleasant, you know? It's pretty good. Also, how much your environment affects your mental state, too. No, I feel fine. Answering 1 to all of them. There we go. I really hope that this doesn't affect anything. It actually takes a second before it'll even allow you to press the button there. Is that all that terminal can do? Yeah. If the whole world is just this endless forest, that would actually be a bit boring. Oh no, there's like a city over there, isn't there? Something. The city that I saw in the concept art. You know, it'd be the worst is if you you get to the quote-unquote afterlife, and then you just kind of end up in this weird uncanny valley situation where there's like shitty texture work or like broken polygons. Is that her? It might be her, actually. Oh no, what if the city's out of reach and we can't go where everybody else is?
Catherine! I can't believe we actually made it.
Well, we did.
I'm so relieved.
It's okay, Simon. Everything's all right now.
I can't believe the thing actually made it into space. From that one line, it said that the firing mechanism, I forget what the word they used, but there was like all kinds of debris in the barrel. And then, of course, the dust in the atmosphere, like that it would make it through all of those things seems really surprising. But I guess we really saw the project through all the way to the end, and it's there with its solar panels, and it's all good. I mean, pretty much all good. I mean, there's still some sad people involved with the process of this, but I guess we did the best we could. And now we will fall into orbit for, I guess, what did they say? Several thousand years? How long would it sustain itself? We're all waiting. Everybody's waiting. We got people under the ocean waiting. There's people in space waiting. Just hoping for intervention. Various levels of hope, I guess. But the real hope here was which one of us will get stimulus that allows us to feel normal. None of us are human. All of us are waiting. Some of us get stimulus, others don't. There's an entire palette of people existing across a spectrum of misery through normalcy. The end. And it has an omega symbol. Alright, I'm really happy they let us walk around the Ark for a second. I wish we could have explored one of the cities or met up with some of the other people. But I also grant that that would have taken a bit away, perhaps, from some of the mystique of this sort of being a more intimate experience at the end. It's the tale of the two travelers, right? You know, Simon and Catherine both moving together through a series of ordeals, and then everything sort of breaking down at the end. You've got the one set of them that is basically fallen apart, and then the other set of them that is able to still coexist. Very cool story. I definitely appreciated this much more for the writing than for the immediate gameplay moment to moment. I also grant that this is probably a lot more of a sci-fi game than a horror game. Granted that I don't get super scared through a lot of things. I understand that this is the state of things, but I also would not exactly shield myself if I did get a natural inclination to react away. And a lot of the times that I felt like I was on the verge of being scared, the tedium of having to wait through something would often end up getting the better of me and kind of ruin some of the atmosphere a little bit. But I also grant, like, that's probably not the case for the majority of people, so I can't truly knock them for that. Just personally, if this was more of a horror game, I suppose there would probably be a little bit more in the way of direct scariness, although I'm not really sure how that would manifest. They had a few moments that I would say for sure were on par with what I would have expected. But I think if I were to recommend this to people, I would recommend it more as a sci-fi game than a horror game. There weren't really a ton of jump scares, which I'm kind of happy about. It was mostly presented in a reasonably classy way. All things considered, I think I pretty much had a good time with it. I mean, the story was enough to compel me to keep going. But again, there was quite a few moments where I was actually, you know, a little bit bored by reading terminals, listening to audio logs, you know, the usual open a room, check out everything in the room. There were times when it felt like it was holding back the gameplay a little bit, but there was also the part of me that says, well, if I didn't want to be so introspective about the whole thing, I probably could have skipped a lot of that too, and probably still gotten the majority of the gist of it. There were a few, maybe important puzzle pieces that I think maybe were possible to miss, but I think the majority of them were kind of right in your way, and or they were just literally trigger points. But it was a well-made game, despite some of the things that I had said prior, and I would recommend it. And I think this will be a fantastic jumping-off point for conversation for a lot of people. I think this is a really interesting bunch of circumstances that the characters found themselves in, and the writing of other sci-fi plots I don't really see rarely. It rarely goes into these sort of territories. Sure, in books, but not often in the realms of video games. So I'm looking forward to talking with everybody about this, and I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. I'm glad that you guys could stick around with me for this, and I'm glad that I saw it through, because when we were in the early stages of it, the writing was a bit slow, and the comments were a bit negative, and I was a little bit not sure about the whole thing. But after about episode 4 or so, it kind of took off. And, well, that was what it was, and I kind of described it as we went. So thanks everybody again for being here. I appreciate you very much for being here and watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you look forward to more horror games that I'll play on the channel in the future. Not that I'm a horror game Let's Player in general, but I certainly am going to be doing, well, probably, you know, like a 60-40 split of other types of games and horror games. I think I'd like to increase the presence of them a bit more, if only for the narrative and exposition possibilities. The ability to talk about them is something that is not always present in the same manner in such things as platformers or action games. There is usually some kind of a nuanced twist or some sort of element of writing that is, you know, at least similarly on a level as you'd see in movies, although not always. And some of them can just be downright hilarious or poorly made. This is certainly not in that ilk. And frictional games have never been of that ilk. I'm just saying in general, there are some horror games out there that are, you know, lackluster. And if I run into one of those by accident, well, that might be a whole different type of Let's Play. But anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. I will see you on the next one, and I hope you have a fantastic night. Talk to y'all later.